Good morning, YouTube. It is Nick with NK Landscaping again as usual. As always, we're up to some crazy antics in some weird New York weather. You can see by the steaming Bobcat behind me. It's cold out this morning. April. Should be a little warmer, but I digress. We've got the gooseneck hooked up and we're gonna be doing something fun today. Something apparently I do more often than not. So Kurt is getting a free shed today. So when you get a free shed, you got to move the free shed, right? That's part of the deal. So we got the Bobcat. We're gonna bring the bucket because we're gonna be putting down a new shed pad for Kurt, where he's gonna plan to put the shed. We got to get the forks. We'll get everything loaded up and then we will go pick up a shed. You might be able to see that trailer is frosty. That's gonna be fun trying to get the skid steer up on there. And then yeah, we're gonna head over to the place where the shed is. We will pick it up, load it up, and get it back home to his house. So let's get to it. So in anticipation of the shed move, since this is not just up the street, this is actually a move on the road, we got some oversized load flags. Now this is only an 8x10 shed, so we should be legally within the width of the legal load. I believe in New York it's 8 foot or 8'6", depending on what road you're on. You need the flags if you go over that 8 foot or 8'6". The law is very confusing to me. We just got them. Why not? Then we have them. The 10-foot length will go on the trailer. And then still trying to figure out exactly what to do in the front. They gave us these little red squares. I don't know, someone that is an expert can maybe chime in. I don't know. The oversized load flag in the front blocks all the radiator. Like if you put it on the bumper, it blocks the intercooler and everything. So I think we're just gonna go with these. I don't know. Better safe than sorry, I guess. All right, guys, we are here on site. What's different about this one, Kurt forgot to tell me, this is not like a manufactured shed. So those are built to be moved, not necessarily by a skid steer, but just by shed moving equipment. This is a custom built shed. Luckily, it was built in a way that's gonna allow us to be able to pick it up. It's just at the legal width for the trailer to not be oversized. The roof does have an overhang that does put us oversized, and then we're gonna be cutting it close to the legal height, but we should be good. So let's make our way down and get this thing strapped onto the forks, get ready to get moved. Here's the shed in question. So there are 2x6 floor joists running in this direction every 16 inches, which doesn't do my forks any good because as I curl up, the tip of the fork is just going to ride up and push on the floor. Luckily, there are two 4x4 skids going left and right here, so I will be able to hit the one with the back of my forks, but I won't be able to hit the far side one with the front of the fork. So what we're going to do, we're going to pick up on this end of the shed, get a little extra height, And then we have these 4x4s here that will lay across the tip of these forks. So as I curl up, those will rest on those floor joists that run that way and provide support in the middle of the shed. And then just like on every other shed move, we'll wrap the whole shed in straps and corner protectors and strap it to the pallet fork frame, since I don't have pallet fork extensions. So we're gonna set that up and then hopefully pick this thing up. Since I've moved a number of sheds these days, this is the way I like to do it. 4 corner protectors. You need 2 30-foot ratchet straps. That basically pulls the shed up against the center here and puts a little bit of pull on it. So hopefully that's enough. Sometimes you have to do a strap over the top. We'll see what this looks like and try to move this. So as you can tell, I wasn't able to pick it up. Kurt failed to mention to me that there is a whole workbench, a vise, a bunch of stuff in here. It's not necessarily about the weight with these sheds. It's this much leverage. Being so far out on the forks, you lose your curl power, because this shed's probably not that heavy. So we need to figure out a way to get all this out of here, reduce this weight, and then go from there. Alright guys, as you can see, the shed is off the ground and Nick is going to back it out of its location. Then we got to do a little truck maneuvering. We're going to want to try to get the truck in the driveway just so we can load the shed without having to be in the street. So it's going to still be a little bit of work.
Past the 4x4s, can I come down a little bit?
Probably the biggest and heaviest shed we have moved to date. As you can see, our addition here, we've got some axle straps that go around this door frame on both sides, and that's helping pull this side of the shed down, since we don't have the pickup point is more than halfway this way, so the shed just wants to fall off. That helped a lot. And now what we're going to do is back the trailer down the driveway. I can pick this thing right up and set it on the trailer. Are you ready? Trailer's in the driveway. We lined up the front of the shed with the front of the trailer. Pick it up, scoot it on, nice and easy. Kurt's getting the walkie-talkies so we have full contact the whole time. We basically want to get it as close to the winch here as possible, so you see we're pretty much in line. And then the shed base, the actual 8-foot direction, is actually just skinnier than the trailer, so we will have a good way to center it. So let's do that. Here we go. Would help if I turn the Bobcat hydraulics on. I'm going up. I need 2 hands here. I gotta put this walkie-talkie away.
You're about good on height now. Do you want it as close to the winch as possible?
Yes.
Pretty darn close. So just keep going forward.
The walkie-talkies, as you can tell, are very important here.
You can go towards the truck just a little bit. Up. Me.
You guys can see just about what I can, which is nothing. our shed is loaded. Let's take this out to the road. We're gonna get the skid steer loaded back up with the bucket and everything. Just enough room here for the skid steer to get strapped down and get out of here. All right, guys, check that out. So I just measured the high point of the shed. We are 13 foot 3 inches. There is one bridge we need to go under, so I'm gonna have Kurt check that on the way home. Otherwise, it's a tight fit. We got our oversized load flags all over, and the pallet forks actually just stick out just as far as the ramps there. So everything's strapped down really well, and this should be a pretty simple trip home. So we are taking the shed home. We're gonna take mainly back roads, not because anything is illegal. Like I said, we've checked all the rules and regulations. I believe we are good on width and height, but mainly because I don't want to take this thing over, say, 35 miles an hour. Just because when you think about it, you got an 8 foot wide, 10 foot tall shed. That's a lot of wind resistance, and then, you know, most roofs aren't built to be taking that speed down any road. So part of the drive home here is this big long hill. So I'm just making my way up, nice and slow. Got all my signs and everything behind us, so we are creating a little bit of traffic jam, but that's okay. Boy, do I like hauling. All right, so next bit of footage, we at Kurt's house, getting this thing unloaded. The shed has successfully made it to Kurt's house here with no issues. Now we're gonna get the skid steer unloaded, and then we'll probably end up backing the trailer into Kurt's driveway here. So we're also gonna have to move our other enclosed trailer. But basically the shed's gonna go somewhere in that area. But yeah, we're gonna get some stuff unloaded and unstrapped and get everything moved. So now that we're up in Kurt's driveway, he's still thinking about an area for the shed, but the most probable area is going to be right here. You can see how the land comes up, flattens off, and then drops down. He eventually wants to try to turn this whole area here into gravel parking. It already kind of is that. So we're going to move this trailer and then just scoot it up so I can back the gooseneck in place here. I can unload the shed, back it up there, put it on the ground, and then we're going to go get a load of gravel so we can get him a base and get the shed installed as best as possible. So as you probably saw there, that was actually really easy getting it off of the trailer. We didn't do the strap that went fully around the shed. We only did this 2 straps that held this side down. and that worked out really well. So now we're gonna go play trailer swap. We don't need the gooseneck anymore. We're gonna go get a load of gravel, and then once the gravel's done, we can haul the skid steer out of here. But that was a pretty smooth move, wouldn't you say so? You happy to have a shed at your house?
It's my second shed, but this is my front shed.
This is your front shed?
Yeah.
Kurt's gonna call this his mini garage.
That's right. 2
sheds, 1 mini garage, I guess. But let's get packed up and go get some gravel. So that is 5.95 tons of 3/8 inch stone. So our local quarries, like I've explained in some of the previous videos, they're all owned by the same company and they all make the same products. This is a 3/8 clean gravel, washed gravel. They are out of 3/4. The machine that they use to make the 3/4 is down, I guess. It's been down for a while. So they've been kind of rushing to try to get that back. They said hopefully next week. But 3/8 will do the trick. We'll go from there. So let's get this tarped up, get home, dump it. We are back with our gravel now. So we got to move this mulch pile and get this area kind of graded out, just so we can get the shed here. So let's get to that. So I'm not sure how much different it looks on camera, but we got as much of the topsoil stripped in this area as possible, even with the end of the driveway. And then we spread, Kurt had that mulch here. So he's actually just gonna turn this into a little bed next to the shed to make it a nice little area. You know, flowers and stuff, bushes, whatever he decides to put there. Right now it's just mulch. Looks better, mulch and dirt, looks better than nothing. So I'm gonna back the trailer in here, dump that pile, and we'll get it graded out. Kurt's not being picky about the grade. He says, you know, as long as it feels level in the shed, that's good enough for him. So let's dump it. It seems like 6 tons of gravel doesn't go as far as it used to, but that's where he wants it, so it's kind of square with the edge of the driveway, and then eventually he has room for improvement with the parking spot, and then a nice little area for planting some flowers and stuff. So gonna go get the walkie-talkies real quick, and then we're gonna get this thing in place and set it down, make sure it's level, and then Kurt will have his second shed. It's rocking a little bit. You know, it's funny, Kurt just put the level on it, and it's level in the left and right direction. It's got a 3-degree slope backwards. Most of that was really due to there were 2 big rocks. There was one like right there and one in that back corner, and just not having enough gravel. But we're budget and time limited, so I think Kurt says he's happy with that. At any given time we could jack up the back of that. Doesn't even require equipment. We can use jacks, and he can put some blocks under that back. It's kind of how we did his back shed. There's so many rocks here, there's not a lot of options, but I'd say that shed is in place. All right, the machine is loaded up and the shed is in place. Now I'm sure you guys want to see a quick little tour. So on this episode of NKTV Sheds, we have Kurt with his new shop in a shed.
Yeah, well, I'll give you guys a little sneak peek, and it's not even close. But we got the workbench here. This came with the shed, and what it is it's all steel construction, all bolted together, and the top is actually 3, I think 2x8s or 2x10s with a piece of masonite on top of that. We got the vise with no handle. We'll have to make one of those guys up on the lathe or something. We got my snap-on toolbox, came out of our last tool hole if you watch NK Garage, so I got to get that loaded up. And then we just got a little bit of this and that. There's an air compressor.
Not too bad. So Kurt's gonna make his own video about a shed tour once he gets this thing loaded up. I know he has plans to do some trim work and possibly paint to the shed. Probably get some lights in here.
Yep.
We're gonna have to run him electricity at some point, because I think he just ran like a 300-foot extension cord.
It didn't work.
It didn't work for the compressor. It drew too much power. But I'm gonna end it right there, guys. thank you for watching. I know this is crazy, all the different types of work we're doing, but I think that's what keeps it interesting. So if you haven't already, check out Kurt at NK Garage. Like I said, he's going to make a video on this. Plus he has tons of other great videos on all sorts of stuff. So check him out, and I'll see you on the next one. Like, comment, subscribe. Don't do that if you don't want to either. I'll see you on the next one.